Okay. I'm recording on Zoom now.
Excellent.
Did that clap thing work with Audible or Audacity the last time you did that?
No, not you. It's weird because I asked you in like the recording, I was like, can you see the
I
blip?
saw the spike, yeah.
And like on my side, I couldn't see any spike like when I actually saw it, like lined it up.
Fuck. That's funny. I saw it. I mean, I was watching the thing and I watched it go bloop. That's funny. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was expecting something to have like to see I was like,
Right.
oh, I'm just looking for like one line at least. There might have been like the tiniest little bit, but
That's funny.
not really enough to register.
That's funny.
But maybe we can make it work this time.
Yeah.
Either way, it's easy enough to line them up.
Right.
All right, I guess when you want to hit record, let me know when you want to hit record.
I'm recording on Audacity.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you say when we'll both start recording, and at least that way it'll be close, and you should be able to line it up pretty quick after that, right? Or do you want to try the clap thing again?
No, I think I can line it up.
Okay.
I think also my internet's better this time, so hopefully it'll.
Yeah. You're coming through way clear.
Be a little bit better. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just count down 3, 2, 1 now, and when you say now, we'll both hit record, and then that should be pretty close to the start.
Okay. 3, 2, 1 now.
All right.
Ready.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome to the Holograms Media Club. We're Will and Gavin Graham, a couple of cousins that love speculative fiction in all its forms. Books and audiobooks, movies and TV shows, board, tabletop, and video games, collectibles, toys, and more. This all started years ago when we were suggesting so many sci-fi books to each other, we had to make a list. This list is gone now, but its spirit lives on. The list is gone now, but its spirit lives on. While our focus will be books, we will be talking all geek media. The format is simple. I'll give Gavin a book that I've read. I'll read it, and then we'll discuss it. Then I'll give Will a book, and the cycle will repeat. Think of it as a book club. Think of it as a book club for the 21st century, with side quests and rants.
All right.
Got through that.
That's cool. Welcome to episode 4, talking about John Scalzi's Old Man's Dude Android's Dream of War. It's our first episode not talking specifically about Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. It is Old Man's War by John Scalzi.
Couldn't not mention it.
Yeah. And then
what do you think?
I liked it. It was all right. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Come back and I did. I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first half significantly more than I enjoyed the second half. But I did not enjoy the second half. So yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
So, but I guess first a quick rundown of the book, quick, get everybody caught up if they haven't read it for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you haven't read it, definitely go check it out now. Old Man's War.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a good enough read to check out and come back, get a little more in depth with us. So
quick, fairly easy read.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a 9 hour 55 or something like that. Listen.
Yeah.
A couple 100-page book or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's actually the first of, I believe there's 6 or 7.
I think 6, could be 7, 6, at least 6, around 6.
Yeah, we've done our research.
Average about 6. I think it is the first in a series of 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and I've listened to all of them, and this is just your first time coming into the world. So
yeah, my first one. Yeah. So very briefly, it's maybe 200 years-ish in the future. They don't really even say. Like, he doesn't really tag it too much. You get the sense that it's it's definitely in the future. It's not the far future.
Yeah,
like 10,000 years Dune style future, but it's in the future, but it's in a sort of near future ish.
Mm-hmm.
I
I mean,
got the sense it was, yeah.
it could almost be our time if, if we knew about aliens and had a little bit of their technology. It doesn't seem like
Well,
there's too much
right.
crazy technology on Earth yet.
Yeah, no,
What you get.
it hasn't gone ape shit yet for technology. Yeah, so I was thinking like 100, 200 years somewhere, roughly
Hmm.
ish, maybe. But yeah, pretty much it almost reads as present day with a lot more tech.
Yeah.
So the Earth isn't some crazy dystopian, polluted out future or anything like that. It's still the planet. So um, the protagonist is John Perry, right? Some 75-year-old dude, retiree, who has, I guess, when you're 65 in this universe, you can go sign up to be in the military when you turn 75.
Hmm.
And then you join the military and they sort of remake your body and send you off to fight aliens.
That's
I
like
think it's,
that's pretty much the gist of it.
I mean, I think that really is the book in a sentence. Like,
Yeah.
it's really not it's not a, I wouldn't call it a deep book. The first half, I think, actually had some pretty interesting deep ideas. I wouldn't go so far as to say themes, but some really good ideas, some really interesting ideas on aging and stuff. The second half really, I think, just read as a space shoot 'em up adventure,
Yeah.
which
On the
which
second time around, it had few things that were interesting that I have written down on my notes here. But
right,
I think the first half exploring, what it was like to be young again and all of that type of stuff. The futility of life and all of what he
yeah,
gets into.
yeah,
Probably a little bit better setup, but definitely
yeah,
setting it up for a cool universe to if you do feel like going on for the
right,
rest of the series.
yeah. I might. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. It's very obviously, heavily inspired by Starship Troopers. I can't think of the author's name that did Starship Troopers.
Robert Hyland.
That's it. Yep, there you
Yeah.
go. Knew it all along. Uh, very heavily, and Scalzi says so. I mean, he says that he read that and was like, "Oh shit, I want to write in that sort of universe, that sort of same vein." So um, very similar setting, just kind of space army man, shoot 'em up kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And so very obviously heavily influenced by that, not in a bad way, but you could just tell that there was a lot of influence in that. Um, so yeah, so I really liked it. I really liked the first. It's funny the I really like the first half because it's all about aging and it's all about getting old and it's all about um, watching your friends die and your kids grow up and move out and it's and having a much different look at the world and society that you're in than that view you have when you're younger. And I wonder, I almost wish I'd read this 20 years ago and then reread it now. It would be really interesting to read it if I'm around in 20 more years, to reread it in 20 years. Because some of this stuff really resonated. Like I had been recently, I'm not in a midlife crisis, but if I were, now is the time for that. Um, and it seemed like this guy, John Perry, never went through a midlife crisis, but that sort of realization of like you no longer have that youth and that youth is just gone, whether you accept it or want it to be gone, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Then in the second half of the book you get that youth back, and what would that feel like, and what would that's very similar to what I'm a stage in my life now that I'm actually like thinking about, like, oh shit, I'm not young enough to skateboard anymore, I'm not young enough to do the things I want to do anymore. These are all realizations, and it was really interesting to see
Well,
this
don't let
universe of,
yourself don't let yourself go go into atrophy.
well, no, but
Not
there's, I
too
mean, I
old
have
yet.
to like, no, and I can still do things. I just have to be more careful about falling down, right? Like you didn't have to think about falling down when you were in your 20s. Now I'm afraid to fall down because I might not get up so quick. And I'm not old. I just, it's, it, it's present in my mind that I can't take the same hits I used to.
Yeah.
Um, and
Don't
that's
heal
what
as fast.
I don't heal as fast, and yeah, I'd blow a shoulder out and I'm screwed for months, not days or weeks. So it's just interesting that, but John Perry goes through that and he gets young again. Right. I mean, they don't know how it happens. They know that they must be doing something. The military, no, I can't remember the name of the military, the Earth,
CDF, the Colonial Defense Force.
Colonial Defense Force,
Yeah.
has you come in, and they want older people to join the Defense Force. I'm going to say Army a lot, but it's not Army. They want older people, because the older people understand that there's a larger goal than being young and just being dumb and fighting for yourself, of fighting for your community and fighting for your species and fighting for your planet. They want people with that experience.
Whole lifetime of knowledge. They're not going to just rush into a battle without thinking about it. They definitely think things out before going in. And
exactly. They're not glory hunters. They won't be glory hunting. Yeah. Right.
Definitely.
Which I thought was a really interesting premise. Now you could pick holes in that, but I think it's a really interesting premise to do. I think it's really, like an army full of old people given new bodies. I mean, they're given new bodies, and they're basically, they become young again, right? I mean, they get 2 weeks to just go out and
get horny,
fornicate all over the ship, or basically just give it a pass. Look, we know you're going to do it. Go do it. Get it out of your system and come back in 2 weeks, and then we're going to train you how to work in your new body plus, right? Like,
going back to that beginning too, even just when his wife dies, she's making the pancakes, and it speaks to that, the fleeting quality of life. It's over before you know it. Like, definitely paints a picture. I was just kind of thinking, what would a Earth be like without anybody really over the age of 75? Because you think, I don't know, I would think mostly the majority of people are, I don't know, would you go when you're 75?
Yeah, I'd go now. Yeah.
You've been thinking about this?
Oh yeah. No, I've been looking into, they won't return my call. Hell yeah, I'd sign up. Like, it would depend on if Alice is still around. That would be, I don't think that I wouldn't leave my wife to go, and I don't think that she would come. So that would negate that. But if she were not around, then absolutely I would sign up. I would, absolutely. I'm really radically against the military. I'm not a military person.
That's like John Perry too.
Yeah, John Perry, him and his wife were both pacifists and against a lot of the wars. Yeah.
Maybe Alice, by the time, she turns 65, is thinking, I'm getting a little bit older.
Right.
I don't know that I am a military person, but just the idea of
being
a new body.
Right. Well, and
getting young again.
The Colonial Defense Force sell it and tell everybody that you only have to serve for 2 years, and then you've got this new body. They tell everybody, they sell it. They sell it as you only have to serve for 2 years,
maybe 10,
maybe up to 10, probably not. And then you do your 2 years, probably 2 years, most likely 2 years, and then you're free to go live on an off-world colony for the rest of your life in this new body, having had 75 years of experience, and all of a sudden you're 24 again. Why the hell? Like, I would fall for that. I would absolutely fall for that. That would be a thing that I would fall for. Yes.
Yeah. I think having read the other books, at the point that you end up out of the military, I think they take your body away from you. I think they even mentioned that in this book. They give you another body that's not like a super militarized anymore. It's still young.
Yeah.
But you're not like, super efficient at being out in space and all that type of stuff. So
you're basically, I guess, when you get through your military body, you come out green, although they never really say how green are we. Like, it doesn't really ever say. I think you're pretty significantly Crayola green.
I've seen some cool drawings online of what people are picturing them and like some of the alien species and stuff like that. Right. We should throw some of that up on our Instagram.
We should.
Gotta get on top of that. We'll definitely we'll put some stuff up on there for this week.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, this week is the Thanksgiving weekend, so I think I've got some. I know I have some time off, and it'll either be play with Instagram or hang out with my family. So I'll be on Instagram. So you get this big military badass body with all these muscles and like super jump, and you can hold your breath for I think like 10 or 15 minutes with like zero problems.
Yeah, they make
20 minutes starts getting a little sketchy. So, but you get all these superpowers basically. And I think once you retire, you do basically just get an average body back, but you're still average body at 24 years old again, or 25 years old. Now that's not what happened. It's not 2 years service. It actually is 10 years. And the mortality rate, I think they said, was like 75%.
Yeah, it was like it was even more than that. I think 80%. But going back to that, I think it was like they could only hold their breath for 6 to 7 minutes because they make them do an exercise where they go to the bottom of the pool.
Right.
And that's Perry's like worst fear is like drowning. I was going to ask you, what was your worst fear, or like, you know, if you had a nightmare as a kid? Like mine would have been, well, I'll tell you what mine would be.
Yeah.
Maybe after you tell me what yours was.
I don't know. Drowning would be pretty rough. That would probably freak me out.
Or it just doesn't even have to be like a way to go, just more of like a claustrophobia or...
No, it wouldn't be claustrophobia. I think it would probably be heights. It would be heights. It would be specifically coming from being high to being very low. That travel in between would probably...
No skydiving then?
No skydiving. No, I can be on something if I know it's not falling down. But if it's like a little bit wobbly, or if it's on the edge of something, like I don't do roller coasters. I don't do the one time I did a Ferris wheel, the fucking thing got stuck.
That'll definitely terrify you.
The one time we did the sky gondola at Busch Gardens, it got stuck.
Good luck with that.
Jeez. I know. Yeah, no, seriously.
Well, I tell you, if you go skydiving, you're so high up. I don't know if I love heights, so I get a little vertigo, you know, when I'm up high.
Right. Yeah.
But skydiving, you're so high, you can't see the ground. So, and then you're strapped into somebody. So they literally pick you up. You're strapped in front of them. They pick you up and put your feet out the plane. They tap you on the back and they say, "Are you ready?
No.
Get ready to go into your move." And then, I mean, you can't, if you say no, I think they already are. You're out the plane anyway.
Yeah, see,
you're hanging out, like your feet, well, you're so high. So
right. No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't even like flying. I don't even like being in a plane. Like I don't fly well. Yeah. I'm not a flyer. I don't like that. We flew to Amsterdam a couple years ago, and I was absolutely shit hammered drunk for it because I couldn't stand doing it sober. We came home and we had no money left for anything. So I had to fly home sober, and it was a really horrible flight, and it was just white knuckled panic attack the entire way home. I don't fly. No, I don't no. I'm good. No.
I remember on the way up, we were a little nervous because you're in a tiny plane.
Yeah. It's like a little Cessna just right.
Our instructor goes, "Well, just think about it this way. When have you ever been in a plane with a parachute on your back? If anything happens, you're good to go." And then he said he walked onto like a commercial flight with his parachute as his carry-on one time, and people are looking at him like, "What does this guy know? You know, like, should I know something?"
Right. I think I'm going to stay home. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. I would want to do it. I would pay for it. I would do all the ground training. I would do everything, and it would be time to get in the plane, and I would nope out right there. I know that. I would not make it onto the plane. It would stop.
Just knees start buckling.
It would just be panic time, and I'm not doing it. I'm not. It would stop at the plane. It would absolutely stop at the plane.
Well, for anyone else listening, I highly recommend it.
Yeah. No, I think everybody should do it. I think everybody else should do it. I've heard lots of good things from lots of people about it.
Don't blame me for your bad experiences, though.
Yeah. I've never heard, I will say, I've never heard anybody that's gone skydiving. I've never heard anybody say, "I wish I hadn't done that." Which is actually, I had never really thought about that, but I've never heard anybody say it was horrible. I know people that have done it and not gone back and done it again, but never have I actually talked to anybody and they said, "That sucked. I don't ever want to do that again. I wish I hadn't done that." Everybody's really glad that they had done it.
I'd say, yeah. It's a life experience. It's one of those, on the bucket list for a lot of people, I think.
No, not me. Not me.
My fear when I was younger would have been spiders. I remember when I was a kid, I had some night terrors. Like
Really?
I think at some point, I don't remember how old I was. I just remember having night terrors where like spiders were just crawling all over the entire like room, and
Oh,
got onto the bed. Not just like little ones, but the ones with like the big legs and
the
everything.
kind you can hear walking.
Yeah, yeah. Hear their little
Scritch,
pinchers
scritch,
like
scritch,
going back and
scritch,
forth.
scritch,
Yeah.
scritch. Oh, dude.
That
Oh.
would have been mine back in the day. I don't know if I like my fear now. Claustrophobia, maybe being
I'm
in,
not
but not
claustrophobic. See,
like
I don't. Yeah, that doesn't.
maybe just not like totally, but being in like a small cave where you're down like crawling and stuck. I guess I've seen some crazy videos recently of like cavers getting stuck going
Yeah,
through little tiny crawl spaces, and that to
yeah,
me,
that would be hard. I think that would be hard. But
yeah.
like, I love getting MRIs. I wish I could get an MRI once a month. Like, I love getting an MRI. That would be.
What is wrong with you?
It's fun. It's like, I don't know. I like. I'm really into experimental noise music. So all the noises going off are really cool. And the fact that it's just like you close your eyes and it just, there's no rhythm to it. There's no anything to it.
Damn,
Everybody
that's
just leaves you alone and you have to lay still.
little
And,
relaxing time.
and it's like, just,
away from the fam.
you just gotta breathe. It's like, yeah, no, I love MRIs. Like,
How many MRIs have you had?
I think 2. I've had, no, 2 or 3, not many, not enough. I would seriously get an MRI once a month if I had a reason to get an MRI once a month. I love it. I thought it's fun.
Be part of the MRI social
That's
club.
fun. The last time I went, it went really quickly because I held really still. It was something for my back. And the guy says, "That was amazing. I've never seen anybody lay as still as you." And I was like, if you
Dude,
need
my
me
back's
to, like,
broken, bro.
if you
I can't
need me,
move.
if you need me to like give lessons or something and give examples, I'm happy to come in. Like,
I will be your model.
I will be your model. I love it. I absolutely love it.
That's fun.
It's just the alone time. It's just, there's no phone, and you just lay there and just listen and experience the weird noise shit. And I'm really into the experimental noise shit anyway. So it's just, that was cool. That's fun. Yeah.
Oh, have you done a deprivation tank before? Sensory
No,
deprivation?
but I would love to do that.
That's a thing you should do if you like alone time. There's
you-
no noise in there, but
Right.
I've
But
done
there's
it.
the noise in your head, right? Like you start hearing the
Oh, yeah.
noise in your own head, right?
People say they've seen aliens, and
Yeah, I've heard that's like a
All sorts of-
real hardcore hallucinogen trip.
yeah, it's fun. That's another thing you should do.
I would definitely do that. I would definitely sign up for that. That seems fun. There's along the same lines, there's a room somewhere. It's the quietest room on the planet. And you go in and there's so little sound. Very shortly after you're in there, you can actually hear your own heartbeat, and it freaks people the fuck out.
Dude, that sounds like Edgar Allan Poe.
I know, right? Like, I don't know. I've got tendinitis really bad, so I don't know if it would work for me because there's always this ringing, like always. And I would like, that might drive me nuts. But yeah, it's like some quiet room for audio
Wow.
testing or something like that. But apparently it like, the rumor is it drives people insane. It doesn't drive people nuts, but you go in and everybody's like, fuck, I can hear my own heartbeat. Like, that'd be weird, man. I want to do that too. That sounds like fun to me.
That's not wow.
I think
That's how
that
you
would
know
be-
you're alive.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know what you do if you hear a palpitation. Shit your pants.
Have a heart attack.
Have a heart attack. Wait, why is it stopped?
Yeah. Give me a new ticker.
Oh,
Well, what do you
man.
think about Earth? Back to the book.
Yeah.
Let's get back on topic here.
Right. Yeah. No.
What do you think about an Earth without 75-year-old people? Because what would that be like?
I don't know. It would be
Insurance
know.
would be a lot cheaper.
maybe. States would probably vote a lot more blue. Lines would
Young
be shorter.
whippersnappers. Yeah.
There would
No
be
more happy hour.
less angry people at the DMV. No, I don't know. I'm not even sure about that. Like, I don't live where I live. I mean, certainly there's old people. I was stuck behind one in the Giant today, but I just waited patiently and walked around. I don't know that it would be weird after a little while, but I don't know at first that there would be
I was going to say
massive
too,
difference, but it would be, yeah.
it's different for, I think, Americans versus other countries too. Like if you look at, a lot of other, like especially like Latin countries, like they take care of their old, a lot
Yeah.
differently than Americans, which kind of speaks to the throwaway quality of old people that Western
Yeah.
culture has actually.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Like, oh, who needs the old people? Just send them up to
Yeah.
space and let them go
Yeah.
basically fight the battle for Earth and take care of us. And
Yeah.
we don't even know, like the people on Earth don't even know anything really. They don't.
Yeah. Right. Because I guess like
That's
once you
crazy.
once you sign up, you're gone. Like you're not allowed to come back to Earth.
Mm-mm.
You're not allowed to go to one of the bigger colonies. Once you're retired, you can go to a colony, but I think the number of colonies you can go to is restricted. But you're
I think so,
absolutely not
yeah.
allowed to come back to Earth. You're absolutely not allowed contact with anybody else either. So that's part of this is once you do sign up, you sign up
Mm-hmm.
when you're 65 and you can get out. You can sign up when you're 65 and you can get out all the way up until the day they put you on the ship. You can just walk away and they'll say, hey, no problem. Not a big deal. Not, you can just walk away. There's no AWOL. There's no nothing. If you just don't show up, it's no big deal.
Yeah. They're
But
pretty relaxed in that manner,
yeah,
but
they
they
really
don't
want to
want
make
people
sure that you're there.
fighting for them if they're not, committed.
Yeah, they want people that are committed to it. But you're also like you're leaving. Like John Perry left his son and his daughter-in-law and grandkids, and that was it. And he was never going to get in touch with them again, ever, under any circumstances. Was he ever going to see them? So he would be to them effectively dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you're saying goodbye. Like
You had to
you're
will
saying
out
goodbye.
everything.
Yeah, and you're
Mm-hmm.
legally dead too, right? Like that's the other thing. You're legally dead. You don't own anything. You're disenfranchised. You don't own anything. You can't you can't get a job. You are by
You're
all
donezo.
accounts, you're dead.
Yeah. He said some heartless goodbyes on his way out.
Yeah.
I'll just apologize to that person because it's easier.
Yeah, it's
It's the right
totally.
thing to
Yeah,
do.
it's just it'll make them feel better. I don't care. I'm going off on an adventure. So, yeah. So I thought that was an interesting thing. So yeah, John Perry, right? We start off.
Mm-hmm.
I think the book starts as he's walking to go get recruited. Right? He's 75. His wife has passed away, which actually, his wife did. She died making, I think, waffles or pancakes.
She was looking for vanilla or something.
Vanilla. Where did I put that damn vanilla? Was the last thing she said. And there was one part in there that was really, I thought, really poignant. He was talking about missing her. He missed his wife, and he had said that when he was young, he thought it was stupid that old people, and he thought it was stupid and pointless for old people to go to the cemetery to miss their spouse. And then he was doing that when he was up until 75. He was doing that. And he said, it's still stupid and pointless. I just don't care. And that was the difference, is you don't care that it was stupid and pointless. I thought that was really, I could see that. I can understand. I wouldn't be like that now, but I can understand when you're 75, that's a pretty significant thing. But then he also said going to the cemetery was easier to miss her there. While she was there, she hasn't been anything but dead.
That's the only place.
That's the only place she's ever been where she's ever been nothing but dead. Everywhere else she's been alive, and it was easier to miss her at the cemetery there because
that makes sense. Yeah,
because he didn't have no memories of her being anything other than dead. I thought that was really, that kind of hit me. That was like, wow, that's kind of deep. That was, yeah. I thought that was really, and Scalzi's a young guy. Scalzi's not 75 or 80 years old. So I thought that was that was kind of sweet. I thought that was kind of a sweet thing. And this guy, John Perry, was very into his wife. He loved being married. He actually says several times in it that he liked being married.
Yeah.
He loved being married.
That was what he missed most about Earth. Mm-hmm. Somebody else was chocolate chips or their daughter's chocolate chip cookies. I mean,
yeah.
And one other person was, I can't remember what the others
something
were.
else, but it was it was that kind of thing. It was sunsets and bumblebees and dewy mornings, and he just missed being with his wife. That was
pretty sweet.
And it was really sweet. Which one of the things that you get when you get your new body is a thing called a brain pal, and it's like a little personal assistant. It's like a Siri or a Google Assistant built into your head, and you can name it. And you can change its voice and everything. And I knew, as soon as I found out about that, I knew he was going to name it after his wife Kathy and changed the voice to Kathy. I knew that. I knew that he was going to do that. So it was no surprise to me. He didn't fucking do it. He called it asshole, and he just yelled at it the whole rest of the book.
Just a nice cheap
And
trick.
I like
Give a cheap laugh.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, everybody named there something bad, right? One lady named it Sweetie, I think.
Honey or something.
Honey or Sweetie or something. But everybody else, it was Dickweed or it was something. It was totally. But I really thought that he was going to name his brain pal after his wife. I was convinced that was a thing. Like I saw that plot hole. I saw that plot point coming a mile away. And then he didn't fucking do it. And I was like, dude, like,
you missed it.
You missed it. I wasn't disappointed, but I was like, wow, shit, that was okay. I mean, I'm glad he didn't do that. That would have been.
It pays
weird.
off later on when he's accessing the brain pal and just asshole.
Yeah, hey asshole.
It
hey,
gets
asshole.
some good laughs out of you, even though you know it's coming.
Yeah. Hey asshole. What time is it?
That was one thing about the book. It does have some parts that just make you laugh.
The drill sergeant was a fucking laugh riot. The drill sergeant was so funny and the character was so very self-aware. The drill sergeant in it was not just out of a movie, but out of a satire movie about drill sergeants being drill sergeants. I mean, he really was.
He calls himself out, yeah.
And he calls himself out. He goes, I'll bet you think I'm some goddamn drill sergeant out of a movie and you're going to make me like you. We're going to become friends at the end of this. And I'm here to tell you we are fucking not. Yeah, it was great. And then at the end, he actually did. At the end, he said, he told John Perry, he goes, you tell that captain I said you're not as worthless as most of these guys. You're not quite as worthless as the rest of them.
Well, he's the only one that he kind of almost didn't find a thing about, to hate right off the bat too.
Right, yeah, it took him forever, right? I think he finally found something eventually, but it was like,
Well, that's speaking of that, actually, guys, Gavin was so gracious in emailing Audible and was able to reserve some rights to be able to play 5 minutes from the book. Yeah. And that was one thing I think that really was so funny because the guy that is reading this book and what is his name? We're going to talk about him here coming up in a little bit, but his name is
William Dufries.
William Dufries. Yes, thank you.
And you'll know him even if you don't think you know him. I'll bet everybody listening here does know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's done a lot of voice work.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we can get into that. But William Dufries.
Let's talk about that right after this. I want to drop a split second of just audio from that book where it's the drill sergeant talking here. So we'll put we'll put that right here.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that was an awesome. That was the best clip you could have picked. I don't even know how you picked that clip.
Dude, I was like this. I was because on my re-listen, I listened to it twice. Because it's been so long since we recorded our last episode. So
it has been a while. Yeah, technical difficulties
technical difficulties, moving issues. Couldn't move my neck after
physical
turning around. Yeah, turning around in bed. It just pulled my neck and was in extreme pain for the last 2 weeks. But so that was on my second listen. One where I was like, I have to pull that clip.
That was
so good.
That drill sergeant. Yeah. And he does the voice just phenomenally for that. He nailed it. Like even if he couldn't read the rest of the book, just the drill sergeant's character was totally worth the book.
Definitely. Well, do you want to talk about Dufries a little bit?
Yeah. So Dufries was a voice actor. He actually passed away in March 2020. We just lost him. Most of the people that are listening probably know his voice as Bob the Builder in the U.S. version of Bob the Builder. He was the voice of Bob the Builder.
That's wild. I know you were telling me that I was going to recognize.
Yeah, like I thought, I wonder who this kid was or who this dude was. But yeah, he was a huge voice actor. He was in Spider-Man. He was in the audiobook version of American Werewolf in London. He's done Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. He's read books for Neil Stephenson. He's done the Pendragon Adventure series, which is like 1 billion books, I think, or 1 billion and 2. I'm not sure how many, a lot. He's read F. Scott Fitzgerald. He's done some stuff for Stephen King. he also he's done a lot of anime. He was in Appleseed, if anybody remembers Appleseed. Lupin 3 he's done. Crap tons of stuff, just tons and tons of stuff. He also started a few different voice acting and production companies, to where they do not just read the books, but do sort of a radio play version of the book. Story Circle in the UK, and Mind's Eye Productions. He started both of those. He did a lot of, it was very busy. He got a lot of graphic novels up and running for audio plays too. So he's, big name in this, which I never would have, I guess. You hear people read a book and you're just like, oh, that guy's reading a book. But no, these guys are like really, this guy especially was really into it. He read really, really well.
I think so. Yeah, he made that.
Yeah.
The book.
Yeah, and he didn't do
better.
He didn't do like really weird, frilly, feminine voices or anything. But everybody had a different voice. Every character was read. I think some of that was Scalzi's writing. Because you can write characters in a different way, and everybody has a different mode of speech. And Dufries, I think, really did carry some of that through. I think he did a good job doing that. But fucking Bob the Builder, man. Like, who knew?
That's the takeaway.
Yeah, Bob the Builder. So Bob the Builder isn't like retired anywhere. I guess he's got a new body and he's out fighting the bugs. So
he's young again at heart.
He's young again at heart, out in space somewhere. So I thought, like, I say, like, it's a good book. It's not a bad book. It's a very light reading book. I think at one point I described it as fluff, but that's really not accurate. That's not, it's better than fluff. It's not just some beach read bullshit that you're going to read and then give up on. It is a really good book. It's a lot of fun. They gloss over a lot of the heavy tech stuff. They have some really interesting tech. Like, they've got an elevator that goes from the Earth to an orbiting platform, and the beanstalk. And they specifically say, we don't know how it works. Like, they actually have a conversation with a physics guy, and he's just like, I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. We don't have any idea how it happens. And then they just never explain it. So he doesn't try to explain the stuff away. And then their faster than light drive is called the skip drive. And it just works. Nobody knows how it works.
Skips over the science.
It just totally skips over the science. It just,
well, they talk about it a little bit there towards the second half. They talk about, the fact that the one alien species is able to detect that they're skipping in, and he goes into the science behind why that is possible. But even that is very mild. Yeah,
it's not
just
like
kind of making up words, and that's why it works type of deal.
And you just sort of have to take it for read that it works. But it's not a book that's trying to prove to you some really crazy science theory, or like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Primer. Have you seen the movie Primer? It's about time travel. It is the most difficult movie to follow because they actually try really hard to make it make sense. It's good. You should watch it if you're into time travel movies.
Who's in it? Do you know?
Nobody. Like nobody. Yeah, it's a really, as far as I know, it's a little indie movie. It's probably bigger than an indie movie. It might still be on Netflix.
Okay, cool.
My advice is watch it and then read about it and then watch it again, because the timeline is really difficult to follow, because it really does follow a lot of the rules. Well, I guess every time travel movie has its own rules. It really follows its own rules very, very hard. There's not a lot of plot holes, and it's really, they don't,
that's cool.
They also don't assume that you're stupid. They don't assume that they assume that you know as much as the characters know. So you go into it, they're not teaching you anything. They're just like, here, asshole, this is how it works. And you're just like, wait, what? Like, cause
thrown into it.
You are dumb. That's like, I'm like, it's really cool. It's a hard movie. It's a difficult movie, but it's really good.
Good rewatchability.
A couple of times. After that, it gets kind of frustrating, because it's just like, God, I still don't understand it. I think I've seen it 4 times.
Oh, no.
I did. I watched it, and then I had to go and read about it. And I literally, and I'm not even lying, I printed out, or I didn't print out, but I found on the computer a chart of the timelines with all the the arrows
Oh,
for this and this goes back and that goes back, and I was like, okay, totally got it. Watched it again. I was like, nope, don't got it. Went
Oh
back
my
and
gosh.
so it's called Primer. I think it's still on Netflix.
Cool. I'll have to check
If
that
not,
out.
it's totally findable if you can get it. It's totally worth watching. It's totally a time travel movie. Not very heavy plot, very heavy science. It's almost like, can we write a movie about time travel that doesn't break its own rules, more so than what the actual movie's about? You know what I mean? So it's not
That's
like
what the challenge was for
that's what I think that's what the
writer and
challenge
director.
was, to really get a time travel movie that made sense within its own universe.
The writer and director wrote it, and then the editor sitting there cutting it all up and stuff.
Just like,
This is the,
yeah,
this is the most confusing.
yeah, no, totally trying to draw out his own line. I'm sure it was storyboarded, just the time travel part. So, but it's really, but
Yeah,
this
I'll
book,
check that
this
out.
book is not that. It's totally worth checking out. But this book is not that. This book is very, very light on the sciencey stuff. And then the second half, really, the first half was all about getting old and having your friends die, and then all of a sudden ending up with a new body, and what could you do, and the idea of being older and wiser in a younger body, which I think just about everybody's thought about, and all these possibilities and these sort of missing your friends and coming to terms with the idea that you can apologize to people because it makes them feel good, and it doesn't really matter if you're sorry or not, and all this very mature stuff. And the second half of the book really was just kind of a pew sci-fi space shoot 'em up.
Well, it gets like I was saying.
There was some
there's
stuff in it.
Yeah, there's a few ideas like well, I guess some military kind of ideas. So one of them was the idea, when you're on Earth, you know your enemy, who you're fighting. You know, you're always going to be fighting a human,
right?
Pretty much species.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in the universe, I think at one part there's a politician that comes up, and he's trying to, I can go to these species and we don't have to battle them. We can talk them.
We can totally talk it out. We can totally talk it out. Yeah.
And they're singing a song, and he's like, I can spot this from a mile away. I've been in politics for 50 years. And that's the sign of a species that's, trying to show us peace.
Right.
And he walks in and he gets hit with like 250,000 needles and blows up. It's the most interesting death that they've ever seen.
He turns into vapor. Like they literally vaporize him with needles.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No,
so that lesson of, you really don't know what you're going up against when you're going against another species. It was kind of a cool idea because it's.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah.
You always think that you're going into this intergalactic species, that they should be, have this intelligence. They're space travelers, they're going to be very similar to us, but in reality,
thought is not the same.
Completely different. Yeah. So that's kind of a cool idea, that there are other species that just are completely foreign to any way that we would ever think.
And completely understandable. Like not understandable. Like we could never understand it because we're just not that. Like I think one of them was sort of a bug species and sort of a hive mind, and killing one or two was like literally nothing, because it was just nothing. It was just, which actually was similar to Ender, right? That was the bugs and Enders, the Ender series.
Starship Troopers too, yeah.
Oh yeah, Starship Troopers was kind of the same thing. So, but yeah, it was, and it was just completely. And the war chant, it was a war chant. It was a sacred war chant, and they were basically blessing the ground and saying this ground is finally going to be holy because there's going to be death on it, like, which is just so foreign. Although, if you get meta, it's not foreign because a human wrote it. But
true.
That's stepping outside of the universe. That's breaking the fourth wall. No, you're right. And then there was another alien group that was kind of helping. And I wish I could remember the names. There was another alien group. They had the technology to help, and they actually were helping one group against the humans, but not because they wanted to help against the humans, just because they wanted everybody to be in a war because they liked war so much. That's what
their whole culture was.
Yeah, it was, and they were doing a good thing, and dying to them was getting to the next level of existence. Like,
and they loved their enemies even, and that's why they fought them, was because
they loved killing their enemies, not because they were dead, but they were giving their enemies to not their heaven, but they were getting them to the next level and getting to the next plane of existence. And that's what their whole rap was about. So that was in there, and that was really cool. So that was, yeah.
That and well, actually, there's two things. So when you were just talking, it reminded me of what kind of the next books are about. Part of them, if anybody's going to go on, just a loose idea, some of the alien species realize that the humans are just too good at what they're doing. I think they're kind of taking all of the other species out. And so a bunch of the races kind of gang up on the humans in one of the books. And is, I think a lot of the other stories don't necessarily follow John Perry. Some of the characters might show up. I think his wife, Jane, in the Ghost Brigades, she shows back up. Perry might show back up, but Harry, one of his cohorts there, he shows back up. So
yeah, we should talk about Jane, right? We haven't mentioned Jane yet. That's
Definitely
the Ghost Brigade is really an interesting thought. It's Perry's wife, like you had said, they both signed up, and then she died before they could join, so he joined anyway, and then he ran into her on another ship as
she
like
saves
some sort of special. Oh, she ends up saving him, right? Just happen chance, small universe kind of stuff. But she's basically special ops. You never really see him. The normal soldiers don't really see him. It was a really bizarre set of circumstances that led them together. And it was basically a clone of Kathy, right? I mean, it was John Perry's wife. It was a clone of Kathy because she'd already signed up. They kind of like,
they took her DNA and
body. Yeah.
They even take parts of DNA from other people. They say for other, certain people are mashed together, but I think she was mostly Kathy. And she talks about how inefficient it is to be human because to him, to herself, she's only like 6 years old, I think.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. The fact that they don't have these 75 years of experience, but they're just like an efficient killing machine, basically.
Well, yeah, and like you said, I think she was like 5 or 6. I think 6 years old, like you say. And they're both in the same 20-year-old bodies. John is 75 years old, and she's 6 years old. So he has this vast amount of world experience, and she has none.
Nothing. Yeah.
So, it's interesting that the Ghost Brigade also talks very quickly. And
they don't even talk.
They don't even talk.
They use their brain pals to talk.
They use their brain pals, and they can talk way faster than humans. And humans cannot keep. It's not a skill that you can develop. You cannot talk as fast as them, and it's really aggravating for them to talk to humans. But they end up in not a romantic relationship, but they end up with basically a friendship relationship. And then he says at the end of the book he never sees her again, which I don't believe. I think they probably run back into each other. I mean, over the course of 6 books, I feel like they're probably going to run back into each other.
It's been years since I've read them. I just can't remember if Perry comes back or not. I'm pretty sure she does.
Yeah.
It would be, like you said, it'd be silly for him not to write them meeting back up at some point. Maybe he didn't have it in mind when he was writing this one, or
maybe. I don't know. Sometimes you get 6 books in and you're like, oh shit, I do need to revisit that. Like, I don't know if he meant to, because the way it ended, I could see it being just a 1 book and not having more, but also being open to being able to write more. It didn't end, period. Like, it wasn't left on a cliffhanger or anything. So it was satisfactory to read the 1. I don't feel like I'm missing 5 more books of the universe, but I don't feel like in this story, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Perry continues to go on and fight. At some point he changes from fighting which I think this is an interesting point. I don't know if Scalzi did this on purpose or not, but there was a point of, at one point, Perry wasn't fighting for the Defense Force anymore. He was fighting for the people in his unit and his friends.
I have that written down. That was one of my notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a big
so at that point, does it make sense monetarily to get people that are 75 years old and give them the new bodies? Or do you just get the young people and do it there? Does it really actually make any sense to get the old people if they're just going to end up fighting for quite literally the same thing the actual 20-year-olds are going to fight for? So, like
you're saying, like the Ghost Brigade 20-year-olds, or
no, like
if you actually had a 20-year-old person,
like the 20, like what we have in our military. Like you get those guys, you get the 18-year-olds to the 21-year-olds, and you recruit them, and then send them off. Except that I can understand, because you've got to colonize all these planets, right? Because that's what we're fighting for. Is we're fighting for colony planets. We're squashing all the bugs so we can take over the universe or the solar system, or multiverse, as it turns out in the book, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the going theory actually, is that it's the multiverse, right? It's not even the universe anymore. It's the multiverse.
That's how he explains the skip drive. Yeah.
Yeah, which gets into a really weird thing. Like, it almost breaks the plot, I think, if you actually start getting into the multiverse. But whatever, it's not that kind of book. Like, it's not. It isn't. You don't have to worry about that. It's not. It doesn't matter. So, but you've got all these young people that you have to make new young people. We all know how to make people. We both have kids. You send the young people off planet to go colonize the worlds, and then you send the old people that can't do anything, shape, to get them back in shape, and then send them off to fight the war. Is probably more, I don't know what the term would be, physiologically economic. It makes more sense. It makes more sense rather than put the old people in the ground, send them off to fight. They end up in the ground later, but then you've got this sort of resource. You can recycle them into soldiers. I guess it makes more economical sense to do it that way.
I guess I'm wondering, do they even matter or care about money? Like the CDF seems to have just unlimited funds at this point too. So
yeah, and they don't take any shit off of anybody, like, which I thought was really, I like the idea the CDF has. Obviously, they have alien technology. I think it's pretty obvious. And nobody ever says they do or don't, whatever. They obviously have their own scientists, but I think they pretty obviously have alien technology. And when the world government starts saying, hey, either you tell us how this works or we're not going to give you our people, the CDF goes, cool. They take their ball and they leave. And that's it. And the people are like, no, don't go. And they're like, nope, fuck you. That's it. We're done. We're not. No, we're done here. That's it. That's bye. That's all.
It is nuts, the way they present themselves.
They're totally in a position. They're totally in a position of power above and beyond anything. They answer only to themselves. And they're in a position where they can do that, and the rest of the world government just does not fuck with them.
And they don't even care about, presenting themselves to people. They know that they're going to get the recruits because, the way they set up their offices, I think it describes, he walks in and it's like there's dust and it looks like the same office that he saw 10 years ago. There's no money spent. And it's pretty funny you'd think that they would be trying to, glamorize it up to try and recruit more people. But it seems like they just, like you said, they don't kind of care.
They're
just,
a shit.
They just do what they want to do.
Zero fucks. It's absolutely zero fucks given. Yeah, so I thought that was really, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a military guy, but I like the idea that you're just like, no, we're doing this. We don't really care what you think.
I had one other thing written down, though, in regards to towards the second half of the book. When he's fighting the one species that are like an inch tall.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they're humanistic.
Yeah.
And he just is breaking down, and it's this picture of him like Godzilla or King Kong, kicking over these buildings and crying.
Yeah, no, totally stamping on. And that actually leads to his breakdown where he's completely broken down and he doesn't think he can go on. And he ends up with a couple of other higher ranking people and they all standing in a circle. And he's just absolutely streaked with tears. And that's where it comes up where they start talking about the things they miss. And that's when it comes out that he misses his wife. That was the scene. That was the scene that predicated that. But yeah, he did. He had a complete breakdown, just stamping on these inch tall
just
things.
Questioning, I like that idea of what are we even doing this for?
Yeah.
Are we, I can think at that point, he's kind of questioning his humanity.
Yeah, totally.
And especially because of all of his new biotics and, he's basically like a cyborg. He's green. He's young again. Different body.
He's completely sold his soul. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they even humans at that point? It brought me back. My mind flashed back to androids.
Yeah. Well, no, a little bit. Yeah. No, it was. Yeah. No, it was similar.
Like, this is a perfect.
Questioning your humanity and whether or not you even have a soul anymore, and whether this young body was worth it, because you're literally stamping on
these little tiny humanoid,
itty bitty. Yeah, inch-high dudes that are just trying to live their life. They're just trying to do the thing you are, and you're just literally stepping on them, turning them to goo. You would.
Just
You would
to
question yourself. You would
take over
totally.
another planet.
For exactly. So yeah,
I
that
thought that
was
was a cool
yeah.
scene. I could see that in a movie.
Yeah.
These little tiny human guys.
Right. You could turn that into a couple of different ways, but it was really, yeah, you felt for John at that point. I mean, I felt for him.
Hmm.
I was like, shit, I don't know that. Yeah. Like,
I think too the way
that's gotta suck.
the
Coming from
Dufries
being,
read that.
yeah, well, coming from the way he read it, and then John being a pacifist. I mean, John was a pacifist at first, and then, I mean, yeah, it's one thing to kill an enemy that's bigger than you or as big as you, or at the end of a
Spider
field, and
looking.
it's some spider monster looking horrible nightmare thing,
Hmm.
or through a video game style drone attack or something, but something
Like
completely
Ender.
different to literally be standing on them and like just knocking over their
That's the way.
civilization. Like that's brutal. So yeah, no, it was an interesting, I like, all in all, I like the book. I will
Yeah.
probably read some more of the series. I got some other stuff I got to read.
I highly
So
recommend it. Yeah. Read
yeah.
just real quick. There's I think in the fifth book it was split up into
Oh
I think
yeah.
12 or 13. It was like a mini series that he would put out like every week or every other week for, I don't know if it was Audible that they were doing it on or if they were doing it on like ebooks or something like that.
Huh.
But they're only like an hour long each, and they kind of come together to make the whole book. They published it as book 5,
Cool.
I think,
Right.
after the fact. But there are some real interesting mini series or mini books in there that are just the ideas in them are pretty cool. There's some alien species and stuff like that.
Right.
Goes into some other far out ideas where
Right.
it is a human writing ideas about other species, so that meta
Yeah.
idea, but
Right. Well, yeah, but I mean,
it's
that's, yeah,
it is
that's cool.
yeah, some pretty cool stuff in there, so
I could see going back and doing some more of those.
yeah.
So, and we should say, I guess the next book this whole idea is that we give each other books that we've read, but very clearly this was so heavily based on Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers is the next book.
Yes,
So
that's the
very
one.
clearly, yes, it is Starship Troopers, which I think we've actually both already read, reread or read recently.
But we've
I'm
never
ready.
picked it apart.
Never picked it apart. I'm ready to start talking about it now, but we'll wait till next episode.
Yeah, and there's a movie that goes along with it.
I have
Great
not seen
movie.
that movie. I think the last time I saw that movie was when it came out on VHS.
Oh, that
So it's
dates it.
been
I
a
think
while.
I saw it in I think I saw that in theater actually.
Oh, no
It might
shit.
have been one of like the first rated R movies that I saw
Oh,
in
that's
theater.
funny. I want to rewatch it. I do want to rewatch it. So.
Denise Richards, I know,
Oh
is
God,
in
really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny. Wow.
it. She's the hot star pilot,
Right.
that's in
Right.
it. So yeah,
Huh. That's interesting. That's funny. I do have to watch that before the book is completely gone out of my head. I'll have to watch that. So,
that'll be fun. Looking
but
forward to
yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
if you're following along, read Starship Troopers really quick.
Yeah,
And if you've
Robert
read,
A. Heinlein.
yeah, really good book. I like that book too. Sort of.
We'll get into it.
Parts of it. We'll get into that. That'll be a fun one to pick apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of anything else that. Oh, one other thing that I really liked in this was Maggie was one of John Perry's crew, right? Him and all his old people before they got turned into young people. Little group of, I think it was 6 or possibly 7 of them.
The old farts.
The old farts club. One of them was Maggie, and she was she studied, I think Asian haiku and stuff, not just haiku, but she studied Asian culture. I think she was an Asian culture professor. But she ended up dying in a battle. She was ejected from a ship and went quite literally into a planet. And there was no saving her or anything. She was flying off into a planet, and she wrote a death poem. And her death poem was, and this is her running out of air, out of ammunition, completely alone, heading for atmosphere. So, I mean, very clearly she's not going to make it. And she wrote and transmitted a little haiku death poem. Do not mourn me, friends. I fall as a shooting star into the next life. And she was a shooting star. And then she just a hell of a way to go out. I thought that was really cool. I thought that was sad,
Yeah, that's
but
beautiful
very,
though.
I thought it was really nice. And it was really, it's neat that there's juxtaposition between that and John Perry having an absolute breakdown from stamping on inch tall people.
Yeah.
Like there's like, you can have the absolute abject cruelty of having to smash people and the beauty of, you know, being turned into a star and being aware that you're going to be a star and wishing your friends not to be sad, to be happy that you go out as a, and possibly somebody's wishing on you. It's over a colony world. There could be a kid looking up, making a wish on that shooting star, not knowing that it's a person. Like,
imagine
but
that.
you get,
That's crazy.
but you get to be that wish for that kid. You know, I think that's kind of cool.
Having the time. Yeah. Well, I think if you could, like, would you want to go out where you had the time to reflect back on your life?
Fuck no.
Like that, you know, where you have that.
No.
I have 10 minutes to go type of deal.
No, hard no. Absolutely not. No, I don't want to see it coming. No.
Yeah,
no,
you just wanted to.
I'm a massive pussy. No. No. I just wanted to. No,
There's
I
something
want to get
beautiful about it, though. I don't know.
Oh no, fully, no, totally, and but no, not me. No, that's up there with skydiving, dude. No, that's a hard pass. No, I say that now. I'm not old. I'm not a boomer old. I don't know. Maybe it's different in
having lived your life, and then
maybe or finding yourself in that position and understanding that that's just that. Maybe that's a different thing, but I'm not. No, I'm not done. I don't want to see.
I'm not about that. Yeah.
No, not now. But like I say, I've never been ejected from a spaceship and in the middle of a giant battle against aliens and then heading at 9 times the speed of sound towards a planet. Maybe if I'm ever in that position, I'll think like, oh, cool, I could write some haiku real fast. Like,
she even shot off her rocket launcher at the alien ships and gained velocity going into the
atmosphere. and did a little bit of damage to the ship. Not significant, but she did do a little bit of damage to the ship. So she went out fighting.
Shooting star for real.
Yep. Yeah, fully. So
that is cool. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, no, I thought that was another spot in that book that really hit me. So I thought that was another sweet moment in that book. So, and I Scalzi, among all the other John, or the Old Man's War books, or whatever the series is called, he wrote, and I do want to find it, I do want to read it or listen to it, is Red Shirts. It's apparently a bit of a send up of the red shirts from Star Trek. It's got really good reviews and people say it's fantastic and fantastically funny. So I am interested in finding that and reading that. Not that we have to do an episode on it, but I'm totally, having read this, I gotta think that that's going to be good. I like Scalzi's style. I like the way he writes his characters. I think he writes his characters. His humor, his seriousness and the little sweet moments, I think, are really good. He doesn't break his own rules in his universe. He establishes his rules and sticks to them, and writes his characters within the possibility of his characters. His characters all have actions that are completely within the realm of that character. So I got to think that Red Shirts is going to be a fucking laugh riot. So that's, that'll be fun. So
the Red Shirts are the ones that always the two big character that dies, right?
The ensign that comes down. Yeah, you got Spock, Bones, Kirk, and George, and just, hey, come down here, and George is the guy in the red shirt and ends up dying. Like, yeah. So, the red, and then there's, have you seen Galaxy Quest?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Guy Fleegman, yeah, Guy Fleegman. That's his whole thing. Is he's just, I'm just a character. I don't even have a last name. That's his whole deal. And then I'm in the middle of a Star Wars role-playing game online that we've been playing over Discord. I'm playing a Gron. They're like the 3-eyed cow goat looking thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm playing one of him, and we just left a ship and came down to a planet And I insisted that no one wear red. I said, look, it's an old grand tradition that before you go to a planet, no one wears red. So just,
no one tried to defy your
no,
orders.
I think actually one character changed a shirt. I think everybody got the reference and got the idea that maybe wearing red while you go to a new planet,
not a great idea.
not a good idea. So I think, yeah. So that's a trope we can all hold on to.
Oh yeah.
So, I think it's it. I don't really have anything else about the book. It was good. It was not a tremendously long read. I want to say it was probably about the same length as Androids.
Yeah.
I
think right in there.
Right in the same thing. A good weekend read if you're reading it, or a couple of days, few hours to listen to it through. Totally worth listening to. Really, really well read.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I think I will probably visit the next book, or the fifth book at any rate, if it's just sort of a series of shorts that sounds like it could be a lot of fun without having to get invested into a whole 6-book series, which I mean,
it's not even too big of an investment because they're not like crazy long each. They're only 10 hours.
Right. It's not like the first Dune 6-pack or something, which is like, I think 100 hours or some crazy shit. Or Lord of the Rings, I think it's like 40 or 45 hours, and that's only 3 books.
Game of Thrones is like 40 hours for one book.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
Enjoyment is what it is.
I don't know. Is it though?
It is.
Is it?
You read them. It might be a suggestion one of these days.
I don't know. We'll see. I think at some point I'm just going to not do it out of bloody mindedness just because it bothers people. It kills people that I haven't read Game of Thrones, and it kills people that I didn't finish watching Breaking Bad. People get really upset with me when they find out I quit watching Breaking Bad halfway through.
No comment because go on for days on that one.
Yeah. It was not more than halfway through, but yeah, no, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Oh, geez.
I know. It's crazy.
It gets so good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for you.
I'm not. Yeah. See, it's just, oh God, very briefly. And I quit when Walter and Skylar were getting separated and just fighting all the time. That's not entertainment to me. That's just, I'm married. Like, that's just like,
it's a bit of a drag. Yeah.
That's my fucking life. And at that point, it was just, I don't know. It just, I don't want to say not believable. I mean, because the whole thing is really kind of outside of the realm of possibility anyway. But, it is suspension of disbelief and all that. But I think at that point, I just got kind of tired of it. Now, I do watch Better Call Saul. I love Better Call Saul. I think Bob Odenkirk is a fucking comic genius. And what he brings to that role is just phenomenal. I think he's just so good.
The writing on that show,
the writing is really good.
Well done.
And just all the characters and everything else. But to me, it's Bob Odenkirk. To me, he's just, because he's got a comic background. He was Mr. Show with David Cross, who is also a very extremely funny person. The two of them and he's got that, even when he's not playing it comic, he's got that comic timing that just makes Jimmy so relatable and so like, you just feel so bad for him, but but he's just so positive all the time. Like he's always like, he looks like he's about to die, and then he's just like, no, dude, fucking sunshine and rainbows. And then he's just happy again. I adore that show. I like that show a lot. So
I'm glad you're at least partially there.
Yeah, no, I'm there. But yeah, no, Breaking Bad, I quit. I quit watching Breaking Bad. I quit Game of Thrones after the first season. I quit Breaking Bad. I quit Lost. Although I think everybody quit Lost. I don't think I'm alone in that. I think everybody stopped watching Lost.
I saw it through to the end.
Did you? I didn't.
And I was one of the disappointed.
Oh, I was disappointed. I was surely disappointed.
We all found out JJ can,
I think,
write a beginning but not an end.
Yeah, I think it was like I don't even remember. There was one point where there was an episode where it was just very clear. All of a sudden, it was like they have no idea what they're doing. They don't know where they're going with this at all. Like, yeah, that was bad. Yeah, I quit a lot of shows. What are you gonna
quitter?
Yeah, I got a finite
quitter.
I got a finite time on this planet, dude. I can't. I'm not going to waste it.
There's too much media out there. Yeah,
it's far too much.
Why waste your time? Yeah, I agree with that. if you're not enjoying something, there's 5 billion other somethings to enjoy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I don't like, a lot of people just say, oh, you just have to watch the first couple seasons before it grows on you. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to.
Only 30 hours of TV before you start to like it. I mean,
yeah, like that sounds like
that time.
That sounds like work to me. Like, dude, I don't want to do that. I could watch Red Dwarf again. I've watched Red Dwarf probably 70 times. I could watch that, or Cowboy Bebop. I could rewatch Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, speaking of which,
yeah, right, good, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Right.
I'm really glad you turned me on to that. Just the animation, just the ease of watching it. The storytelling is pretty great, and I really enjoy the music.
The music is really good.
Yeah, like
the music. The music is how I got into it. I was driving home from work one day with a buddy of mine. Actually, Mike from the sticker story from episode 1. We were driving home listening to NPR one day, and Terry Gross had a thing on about the music from Cowboy Bebop. We'd never heard of it, and it wasn't immensely popular or anything yet. It wasn't anything. And they played the opening theme song, Tank. Down, and we were just like, holy shit. And I'm not lying, we listened to the piece, and it was all about how the music ties in, and they played a bunch of music from the first couple of episodes. We did not go home. We went to a Wizards of the Coast game store, because we knew they had a lot of anime, and we bought the first season
wow.
And then went home and watched it.
That's cool.
It was, and it was just like instant. It was just like, holy shit. But it was also, this was on DVD days. This is before you could torrent anything. Well, I guess maybe you could. We couldn't. LimeWire, I guess, if you wanted some viruses. So you had to track down the DVDs, and they weren't everywhere. You couldn't get them. So I had season 1, I had season 2 after a couple weeks, and we had season 3. Then I found season 5, but I didn't have season 4. So do you watch it? Do you wait? What do you do?
I would wait.
I
gotta watch things in order. Yeah.
No, totally. And we did, but it was hell. It really was. So, but it was fun tracking. That was back in the day when you had to track everything down. So, and then the movie came out. That was
when I looked it up. How many episodes? So, because I looked it up, I thought I was researching it. It showed 26 episodes total.
Yeah.
So there are only like 5 episodes per season or something like that.
Yeah, it's only, then. I think it's, I can't remember if it's 4 and 666 or 4 and, or 6 and, it's only like 5 or 6 episodes per season.
I thought it was like one season, just 26 episodes. I see. Okay.
No, it's, it's actually not called seasons, it's called sessions in Cowboy Bebop. It's called sessions because that's more, right. That's more musical. It's 6 DVDs is what it is. And then there's whatever that divides out to. I think maybe it's 4 or 5 episodes per DVD, and then 1 or 2 extra on another one. And then there's a movie that kind of happens in the middle there. But that's it. But yeah, they're very short. And I think, I'm not positive, but I think for short form Japanese anime, that's the norm. Because like Hellsing is the same number of episodes. Berserk is the same number of episodes, both of which are really good. Totally worth watching. Not as good as Cowboy Bebop, I don't think, but both really good. Berserk is a much different animation style, a much different story, but a much different animation style. But I think for short form, and then you have the other stuff is like Gundam and Dragon Ball Z, where there's like 1 billion episodes. Like it just never ends. So
I like the animation where it like zooms into. Like they'll be fighting and it'll zoom into the gun and it like a couple of flashes or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's very stylistic or like it'll be a car driving along a road and there's like a ring world in the background and it's just the same thing repeating over and over and over again. But it, like the way that the animation is, it's like I could watch that scene for like an hour or 2 hours and just have a car driving along a road and it's enjoyable.
It's really it's really, really cool. So so like how have you done all of it yet or
no? So I'm only a couple episodes in, so I have a world of wonder ahead.
Cool. You probably haven't met all the characters in yet. I don't want to give anything away.
No,
you probably haven't
just
met
the
all
2
the
main.
Okay. There's more
main crew so
there's
far,
more there's more crew coming.
Okay. I like they're
They're all
always
good. They're all good.
cooking something crazy.
A special beef with broccoli.
Yeah.
there's no beef in it. That's why it's special beef with broccoli. Yeah. That's like ramen surprise, right? We all had ramen surprise. Surprise, it's ramen again. That's,
Noodle water powder.
that's it. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop's good, man. I'm glad that people are getting into it or still getting into it. It's a good show. It's a lot of fun. And the music's fucking rad. The music, the whole series, the music is rad. It just every episode has its own tone and its own soundtrack.
It reminds me of Firefly a little bit, like the music.
Yeah.
Just that cowboy.
It's got that kind of
guitar kind of in the background here and there and stuff like that.
Yeah. With a whistle, there's a whistle tune.
Yeah.
Keeps Spike's whistle tune. It keeps coming up and through it. Yeah, there's some stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's a lot of fun. It's so that's why I'm half excited for the live version. Right, like the live version could be really cool. It won't be, but it could be. So, but they've got Watanabe was the director on that, and he's involved in some capacity on the live version. And the lady, I can't think of her name offhand, that did the music direction. She's involved. So there's a chance that it will be okay. But looking at the other stuff that Netflix has done, it's probably not going to be very good. So
it'd be better if it was on Amazon. Maybe they have a little bit more money.
Maybe
throw out shows like that. Lord of the Rings.
Right. Yeah, maybe. Could be. It might be good. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch the first episode at any rate. I'm clearly not afraid to quit a series.
Anything in the world of Middle Earth, and I'm there. So
yeah,
I'll be watching it.
I'll probably watch all that. I still watch The Hobbit. I rewatched The Hobbit, and that's abysmal, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it gets better with every watch. What do you mean?
I don't agree with that. Oh man. All right, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else. Not about this, or I had a little side quest thing, but I think I'll save it for next go. I think I'm waiting for some more news announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
John Scalzi's Old Man's War. Next up is Heinlein's Starship Troopers.
Roberto A. Heinlein.
Yeah.
He's not, I don't know what he is. He might be German or something like that with Heinlein.
No, I think he's American.
Heinlein.
I think he's American.
Robert. Yeah, I guess Robert's an American name.
Pretty, yeah.
Pretty American.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
well, that'll be next episode.
Hopefully,
so
hopefully it'll be faster than 6 weeks.
Yeah, I think we'll get back on the fortnight schedule now that things are a little bit more norm and.
Right. Well, now that you have a steady place to live.
Yeah, steady place to live, steady office.
Steady office.
Yeah.
More or less. So, yeah, cool.
All right.
I think it's it. Email us, get in touch with us. We'll do some stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll get on the Instagram. Definitely check us out on any of your favorite podcast listening forums. Sure. Give us a review on your forum if you
that would be good too. That would be cool too. Yeah,
definitely appreciate that. I think that would help for sure.
And pimp us to your friends. Tell your friends.
Anyone that's into sci-fi pretty much.
Yeah.
Or the sci-fi, the holograms. So
that's right. Yeah.
Don't forget about us.
Yeah.
We'll be here and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. This has been the Hologram Media Club podcast.
We'll talk to you soon.
That's right. See you.
Okay. What's that?
Hour 16.
That's that. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I could probably cut a little out if we had to.
I think